90%. That is the number of traders who lose their capital within the first year. They do not lose because they lack intelligence. They do not lose because they cannot read a chart. And they certainly do not lose because they lack ambition. They lose because they are weak. The stock market is not a factory that produces money. It is a slaughterhouse for the emotional. It is a mechanism designed to transfer wealth from the impatient to the patient, from the chaotic to the disciplined, from the fragile to the stoic. You look at the charts and you see numbers. You see green candles and red candles. But the market is simply a mirror. It reflects your own insecurities. It reflects your greed. It reflects your fear. If you cannot control your own mind, you have no business trying to control a portfolio. You are gambling with your future. Today, we do not talk about technical analysis. We do not talk about the next crypto pump. We talk about the only asset that actually matters. The fortress of your mind. This is how you apply the ancient wisdom of Stoicism to the modern chaos of the financial markets. If you are ready to join the 1% who master themselves, and by extension, the world, subscribe. Let the transformation begin. Part 1. The Dichotomy of Control. Epictetus, the slave who became a master philosopher, gave us the single most important rule for investing. He said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us." It sounds simple, but in the heat of the moment, when your screen is flashing red, you forget this. The average trader believes they can control the market. They scream at the screen. If they pray for the price to go up. They curse the government, the whales, and the news when the price goes down. They are slaves to external events. They have tied their happiness and their peace of mind to a number on a screen that they cannot influence. This is madness. As a Stoic, you must accept a brutal truth. You have zero control over the price action. You have zero control over the news. You have zero control over global economics. So, what is up to you? Your entry, your exit, your risk management, and most importantly, your reaction. The market is like the weather. You do not get angry at a storm. You do not yell at the rain for making you wet. You simply carry an umbrella. In trading, your risk management is your umbrella. Stop trying to predict the storm. Prepare for it. When you detach your emotions from the outcome, you become dangerous. You become unshakable. You stop trading your hope, and you start trading reality. Part 2. Amor, Fati, and the Art of Losing. Friedrich Nietzsche, inspired by the Stoics, coined the term Amor Fati, a love of fate, to love whatever happens to you. Do not merely bear what is necessary, but love it. This is the hardest lesson for an investor. Can you love your losses? The amateur trader takes a loss personally. He feels stupid. He feels cheated. He tries to win it back immediately. He engages in revenge trading. And this is how he loses everything. The Stoic views a loss differently. A loss is not a failure. A loss is a tuition fee. A loss is data. When the market moves against you, it is teaching you something. It is showing you a flaw in your system or a flaw in your character. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your loss is the way." It is the feedback loop you need to improve. If you lose money, do not pity yourself. Do not complain. Accept it. Analyze it. Love it, because it is the reality of the moment, and you cannot change the past. The moment you accept the loss, you strip it of its power to hurt you. You remain clear-headed. You remain ready for the next opportunity. Part 3. Premeditatio Malorum. Seneca, the richest man in Rome, practiced a technique called Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. Most investors live in a fantasy. They buy a stock and immediately imagine what color Ferrari they will buy. They calculate their millions before they have made a single dollar. They are drunk on hope, and hope is a dangerous drug in the markets. Hope makes you hold on to a losing position because you pray it will turn around. Hope makes you buy at the top because you think it will go on forever. The Stoic does the opposite. Before you enter a trade, visualize the worst-case scenario. Imagine the market crashes tomorrow. Imagine you lose 50% of your portfolio. Imagine the company goes bankrupt. How will you feel? What will you do? Can you survive it? If you have mentally rehearsed the disaster, it cannot break you. You have already lived through it in your mind. This is not pessimism. This is preparation. When you are prepared for the worst, you are never caught off guard. While the rest of the world is panic selling because they are shocked, you are calm. You expected this. You have a plan for this. The panic of the herd is the opportunity of the Stoic, but you can only seize that opportunity if you are not part of the herd. Part 4. Time and the compound effect. We live in the era of instant gratification. Everyone wants to get rich quick. Everyone wants the 100 times return overnight. This is why they fail. They are chasing a lottery ticket. Stoicism teaches us to respect the process of nature. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. A tree does not grow in a day. An empire is not built in a week, and real wealth is not created in a month. The Stoic investor understands the power of time. He understands compounding, not just the compounding of money, but the compounding of knowledge and discipline. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that life is short, but art is long. Consistency is the key. The amateur gets bored. They want excitement. They want action. So they overtrade. They force trades that are not there. They bleed their account to death by 1,000 cuts. The Stoic is capable of doing nothing. He can sit on his hands for days, weeks, or months. He waits. He watches, like a predator. He does not need the dopamine hit of clicking the buy button. He is content in his patience, and when the moment is right, when the odds are in his favor, he strikes, without hesitation, without fear. And if he is wrong, he exits, without regret. This level of detachment is a superpower. While others are glued to their screens, obsessing over every tick of the chart, the Stoic is living his life. He knows that money is a tool for freedom, not a master that demands his constant attention. Part 5. Defining enough. Seneca famously said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor." The financial markets are driven by greed. There is always more money to be made. There is always a higher high. If you do not define what enough means to you, you will never be free. You will be a slave to the next target, the next million, the next car. You see traders who make life-changing money and then lose it all back. Why? Because they did not know when to stop. They thought the streak would last forever. Their ego became bigger than their account. The Stoic knows his target. He knows why he is investing. He is investing for freedom, for security, for the ability to say no. He is not investing to impress strangers on the internet. He is not investing to fill a void in his soul. Well, when you realize that you need very little to be happy, you become invincible in the markets. You are not trading out of desperation. You are trading out of abundance. You can walk away from a bad deal because you do not need it. The man who needs nothing cannot be bought, and he cannot be broken. Conclusion. The year 2026 will bring chaos. There will be crashes. There will be bubbles. There will be panic. The 90% will be washed away by the tides of emotion. They will buy at the top and sell at the bottom. They will blame the market for their misfortune. But you will be different. You will stand in the center of the storm, completely still. You will not judge the market. You will not fight the market. You will simply observe it and act according to your principles. Or you will treat your trading as a spiritual practice, a practice of discipline, a practice of acceptance, a practice of mastering the self. Remember, wealth is not just numbers in a bank account. True wealth is a mind that is undisturbed. If you have watched this far, you are already separating yourself from the herd. Prove your resolve. Leave a comment below with the word fortress. Declare that your mind is a fortress that the chaos of the market cannot breach. The path is hard, but the view from the top is worth it. End of recording.